Hello, good evening. What we have here is an old slow cooker. Unfortunately, I ended up breaking the actual crocking pot, as I call it, that actually would go into the slow cooker itself in order to cook your food. So I thought to myself, what can I do with a slow cooker that no longer has a cooking pot inside? I could look at replacing the cooking pot, but to be honest, it's actually more cheaper to just buy a brand new slow cooker with everything included. So, what I have used this slow cooker for is to actually melt wax. Now, this isn't just any type of wax. I mean, you can get different types of waxes from craft shops and on social media, places like Amazon, eBay. Many places now will do wax, mainly in what I would call pellet form, because so many people nowadays are into old skills, old crafts, such as candle making, also making your own bath bombs. And so, what I've actually done is I have used babybel wax and I have melted it using the what's left of my slow cooker. Now, as you know, babybel wax is bright red. This is not bright red, and one of the reasons why I believe the colour has changed slightly is because I have added some old broken candles that I had lying around the house, and I also added tea tree oil that I had left over to try and hopefully give the wax some fragrance. Now, if you do obviously decide to use an old slow cooker to melt wax, I would advise you to put a tray underneath. Now, I'm not going to pick this up at the moment because it just would be unsafe to do so. Because what's actually happened, as I've found in the past from doing this, is that where the screws are actually in the slow cooker itself, there is just enough gap around the screws for the wax to slowly drip out. So if you are going to do something like this, bearing in mind it's metal, it's going to get really, really hot, you want to ideally put it somewhere that is well ventilated, safe away from children and animals, somewhere that you can keep an eye on it, and also somewhere with a heat-proof mat, or like I've used a metal tray underneath to catch the wax, which then could later be reheated and reused. That's one of the good things about wax that people tend to forget, that it's one of those substances that can be used over and over and over again, providing you have the necessary tools and equipment to achieve this. Now, everyone's obviously aware of what a candle is and what it does and what it's used for. There are different types of candles that you can get, and depending on the wick that you use within the candle and the type of wax you use, the size of the candle, the diameter of the candle, sometimes people in the past have used vegetable fat to make candles or lard, will depend on how long the candle will actually burn for. Now, I have not actually made any candles yet from the babybel wax. One of the things I did do, however, at Christmas was I decorated some pine cones with my children. Again, this was a job that needed to be done by an adult supervising, because wax is hot and it can burn. And we made our own Christmas, or should I say Yule decorations. And because they were actually scented, it made the house smell very nice and not too overpowering. They were later then burnt in an open fire that we had in the garden to basically dispose of them, as we didn't need them anymore. So there are a number of things you could do with an old slow cooker, and this is one of the suggestions that I have. I will continue blogging and YouTubing my results once I have finished the end product, which will hopefully be a candle made out of babybel wax. One of the things that I will be using as a wick is actually some wicks that I've purchased. You can obviously get different types of wicks, and the ones that I've managed to purchase, if I can just get it in, they look like this. And basically they have like a metal bit at the base, which will help to balance the wick whilst the wax is setting. But there are different types of wicks, like I've mentioned before, that you can purchase, but these are the ones that I currently have available. So please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube page and also to follow me and continue to see what happens in the future. Thank you.